Okay, so Charlie Kirk has just been shot at one of his own rallies. Now, this is probably one of the most obvious inside job conspiracy ritual killings that I've ever seen. Okay, more obvious than JFK assassination, more obvious than the Trump assassination attempt. It's never been more obvious. Okay, come on, man. Come on, man. They follow the same exact script. No lone gunman would be able to land this kind of shot from hundreds of meters away and not be detected. Okay, it was a trained military shooting or shooter that killed Charlie Kirk.
Hey, stop! Stop, folks! Stop! Back up!
Crowds were seen running and screaming in panic as the terrible scene played out at Utah Valley University campus. Okay, who could have guessed that Charlie Kirk would have been killed in Utah of all places? Like, nobody would have ever expected that. You'd expect him, if he were to be assassinated, I'd expect him to be assassinated in like San Francisco or something. Um, but no, it was Utah. And notice how all the students are screaming, they're yelling, they're loud, they're just pumped full of fear. All that adrenaline. This is exactly what the powers that be want when they have these sort of national traumatic events. Okay? They love it. They love it. They'll gladly take out one of their own, which is Charlie Kirk. He's part of the establishment. They'll gladly take out one of their own in order to divide the country, in order to pump us full of fear.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh! I hope you... Hey, stop! Stop, folks!
All these cameras, all these witnesses, all these bystanders, and nobody saw the shooter. Nobody even has a vague idea of where the shooting came from. Doubt it. Doubt it. And there was a couple of clips on X or Twitter of somebody on the roof just before the shooting. Just before the shooting, there was somebody on the roof. And as soon as the shot went off, you see him running away. Yet this guy is not investigated. This guy is not looked at. Okay, no civilian would be able to make that shot without assistance, without spotters. Okay, they follow the same script. Like, look at how JFK was murdered. Okay, these are the same people that killed JFK, same people that killed Martin Luther King. They will hire professional international hitmen to unalive our leadership within this country, and they operate on our soil with impunity. With total impunity. They control the government, they control the Congress, they control the economy, they control the banks, they control everything. So who is surprised that things like this is happening? Charlie Kirk knew he was on borrowed time once he started criticizing the Zionist states. He was like, there was one point in time, I think just before Trump was elected, where Charlie Kirk was very vocal on the criminal activity of Israel. He started connecting the dots. And then something scared him after Trump was inaugurated to the point where he backpedaled and went full on Zionist. Like, that is not normal. That is not a normal change in political views. Okay, that's not normal to just believe in something, to just wake up to something And then for no reason at all, you just backpedal. You're just like, oh, he's like, he was saying Jeffrey Epstein is like a Israeli agent, okay, blackmail agent. And a couple months later, he was like, no, there's nothing. Don't be a conspiracy theorist. Like, just immediate backpedal. So that means someone or something or some country scared him to the point where he was like, no, I'm not going to talk about this anymore. And that's very likely, considering we know the history of Mossad. We know what they're capable of. They have no rules. It's literally no rules at all. Okay, I can't even say what I want to say because today is literally 9/11. But we know who did that. We know exactly who did that. It wasn't a bunch of um sandal wearing cave dwellers in in the Middle East. No. No. It was one of our greatest allies. Okay, our greatest ally did this. Okay. So we're going to watch another clip. Video appears to show person on roof. So they're just, mainstream media is just now coming out with this, saying there was a person on the roof. So let's see this.
A manhunt is underway this morning for the shooter who killed conservative activist Charlie Kirk. This happened while he was speaking to thousands of students at Utah Valley University.
Eyewitness News reporter Josh Haskell joins us live from the campus in Utah with the details. Josh?
Tony and Rachel, a very somber scene here at Utah Valley University. 40,000 students attend this school. There will not be classes until Monday as the campus has been turned into a massive crime scene following the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The FBI is here, law enforcement from surrounding areas, and they are focusing.
Calling him an activist is a stretch. He was a political pundit. Okay, he was a political mouthpiece. Calling him an activist is just outright insanity. Activism is speaking out against injustices. It's like Gene O side, okay? That's what activism is. Putting yourself in the line of fire to save children, dead and dying children. That is activism. Just sitting in a booth and debating uneducated 18, 19, 20-year-olds, that's not activism. And you're like, what, 30? Was he like 32? Okay, so calling that activism is not accurate. I'll just say that.
On an outdoor area behind this building in the distance, I want to show you the campus sign because we have seen someone leave flowers here overnight. Other people have come by to pay.
One flower. That's it. You've seen people in the hood that get shot up get more flowers than this. Like, come on.
Pay their respects as investigators try and locate the shooter. And we want to show you some new video that
now, if the actual police, like, we have all this radar technology, GPS technology, all these cell phone data we could use to track this so-called shooter. Okay, really, it was a hit job. It was an organized, calculated ritual sacrifice. That's what this is. They're acting like it's a lone gunman. And how do they already know there's only one shooter? It's like they never even try to question the fact that there might be multiple shooters. Two shooters, 3 shooters, 4 shooters, plus spotters. Like, come on, dude. We never question it. It's insane to me. No civilian would be able to make a shot like this. None. There's not a single non-military trained person in this country that would be able to make an insane shot like that. from the roof. Okay, let's get real. Let's get real. Who sent this hit out on Charlie? Who gave the call, the word to end his life? Who has the motivation to do it? It's not liberals. It's not the so-called left. It's not the so-called Democrats. Why would the Democrats want to be known as the party of violence? Just like when a person on the Republican side commits an act of violence, Republicans are quick to condemn it because they don't want to be seen as the party of violence. Democrats, when somebody crazy on their side commits an act of violence, everybody's quick to condemn it. So is this really a left or right issue? Okay, or is this something to do with good or evil? The United States, our sovereignty, is under threat. Why are all these random foreign countries able to come in and set up shop with their own intelligence agencies and wreak total havoc with impunity? And they have complete immunity once these agents are caught. They just get sent back to Israel, or they get sent back to Saudi Arabia, or they get sent back to wherever, China. Okay, they get sent back to what, and then they're free to do it again. We have no sort of sovereignty in this country anymore. Other countries can literally go in and bribe our politicians with zero consequences whatsoever. Foreign corporations could come in and bribe our politicians, and nothing happens to them. There's no sort of fine, there's no fee, there's no jail time, nothing. And we wonder why we are unable to maintain law and order within this country. Trump thinks if you just kick out all the illegals, all the crime will stop. No. The root of all of this is these foreign corporations, these central banking cartels, and our so-called ally, Israel, that is just throwing money. We give Israel money, and then they give us like a little tiny spoonful back, and then you just bribe all our politicians. So we give them $1 billion, and they'll send one of our politicians like $1 million, and then they instantly own that politician. The politician can never speak out against them, never criticize them. And it's just insane. We're more worried about censoring people than we are about literal corruption, literal bribing, literal genocide. It's insane.
We have authorities are combing through this video from the scene. It appears to show a person on the roof immediately following.
Now, you cannot tell me that is not a person. That is clearly a person. That is a person on the roof running in the opposite direction, all black fatigue, it looks like. And I pointed this out to people, and people on X were like, oh, that's just a piece of lint in the window. It's an illusion. Oh, I don't see it. Like, come on, dude. How blind are you? How blind are you? Anytime the mainstream media comes out and actually has to talk about something for the first time that they've just been blatantly ignoring, that's how you know the evidence is damning.
The shooting,
running away. He's gone. And if the police actually did their job, if the detectives actually did their job, they'd pinpoint where this is in the footage and track their GPS data. Okay, the man is far away from the crowd. It's not going to get jumbled in with a bunch of other people. He's clearly far away. They could see, oh, he's elevated at this position. He's elevated at X, Y, Z. And they could pinpoint that down if they really wanted to. If they really wanted to, they could do that. They could instantly arrest this guy. But you want to know why they won't? Because it was a hit. It was a hit by a foreign government, and I bet the people in power are probably pulling strings, pulling all sorts of strings, and covering up to try to smother out the fact that this was a Israeli Mossad operation. And it's as clear as day. It's following the same script like they always do this. There's no American person in this country that would care enough to unalive Charlie Kirk. There's not a single person in this country. I don't care how mentally ill you are. There's not a single person that cares enough or is so pissed off. Charlie Kirk has the most lukewarm opinions in the freaking world. Okay, there's nothing controversial about him. Okay, he's just the most lukewarm person. He doesn't ever criticize anything. Anything. And if he does criticize something, it will be very lukewarm points, very surface level, and a nothing burger. Okay, it's nothing. Okay, nobody cares enough. But you want to know who would care? Israel. Israel cares because they saw this guy who is at this point a mainstream political force criticizing the fact that Jeffrey Epstein probably might have, most likely was an Israeli asset. That's when his death warrant was signed. That's the point in time where they said, okay, we gotta get rid of this guy. We gotta, if they can't bribe you, they'll try to intimidate you. They'll threaten you. If they can't get away with threatening you, then they will unfortunately assassinate you. Did the same thing with JFK. Same exact method of killing. They have two distractions. They have two patsies. Because another guy got arrested during this assassination. So there's two people who were arrested, and they were doing obviously things that would draw the attention of the police to get it to the point where they get arrested for suspicion. And then they end up having nothing to do with the shooting. So that by the time they realize we got the wrong guy, the real shooter gets away. They did the same exact things every single time. They followed the same exact script. Have two patsies. Main shooter gets away. He gets to flee to wherever foreign country he came from. He's safe in Israel. He's safe in Saudi Arabia. He's safe in Qatar. He's safe in Russia, wherever the heck this guy is coming from. He's safe in Argentina because the American borders is so lax. It's like a revolving door. Okay, just waltz on in, commit crime, and then go home. Okay, all these little intelligence agencies and organizations and corporations, they can just wreak havoc. Okay, it's not the farmhand that is a threat to this country. It's these foreign corporations, these foreign banks that just dominate this country, buying up land, buying up resources, buying up oil, buying up entire companies that are supposed to be American. When do we say we got to stop this? We got to cut all ties with Israel. We got to cut all ties with Saudi Arabia. What have these allies ever given us money in our time of need? Has Saudi Arabia ever looked at Kensington Avenue and gave our homeless people money? They got all that oil money, billions and billions of dollars in oil money. Have they ever went to our streets, helped our homeless? Why are we doing business with them? Why are we giving them our money? Why are we protecting them? They contribute nothing to us besides selling us overpriced oil that we can easily produce ourselves. Okay, let's get real.
according to sources familiar with the ongoing investigation. Now, the Utah Department of Public Safety said 2 people were initially taken into custody after the shooting, but later were released. The first was released.
2 people, 2 patsies. They never explained why they were arrested in the first place. Why were these 2 shooters arrested? Were they doing something suspicious, erratic? What action or what move did they do to get arrested? Where's the footage? Where's the proof? Why are they just randomly arresting people while the real shooter gets away? Like, come on, dude. You don't have any sort of cell phone footage. You don't have any sort of security camera footage of the guy that was clearly on the roof running away. It should be obvious. There's only so many ways you can get off a roof. Pinpoint where he got off the roof at, see if there's any camera footage, and arrest him. It's not that hard. But the only reason they're not doing that is because it's a cover-up. It's a cover-up, and they know it's a cover-up. Okay, let's be real. They will eventually choose some sort of mentally ill person to blame this shooting on, and they will, of course, forge his social media history to be the most inflammatory, divisive person imaginable in order to create this divide and conquer race war or Democrat versus Republican war or whatever they're planning on doing. They will do it. Okay, and the people won't be any the wiser because they're too busy with their own butt up their butt. Their butt up their butt. Their head up their butt. Okay, they're too busy. Too busy typing online. Too busy arguing and squabbling with their own in order, and they can't realize who really runs things, who really controls this country.
And later charged with obstruction by university police. The second person was taken into custody and released after an interrogation by law enforcement. Now, Utah authorities have also said that there are no current ties to the shooting with either of those individuals. A single shot was fired on Utah Valley University's Orem campus toward
A single shot. A single shot from like a half a freaking kilometer away, bro. You're telling me this guy isn't trained? He isn't military. He's just some random wacko, lone wolf, mentally ill shooter? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. To make that hit in one shot, you'd have to be trained. You'd have to have years and years and years of experience. Okay, you'd have to have, if not a decade of experience to land a shot like that. So look at who he was afraid of. Look at who Charlie Kirk was afraid of. Look at who he criticized and then switched up. Okay, and some anonymous sources have even said that Charlie Kirk has said privately that he's afraid Israel is going to kill him if he starts criticizing them. So if you've watched him debate anti-genocide supporters, then you know that he doesn't actually believe in what he's saying. Like any other topic, he'd argue it using actual reasoning. But when he's debating about Israel, he doesn't actually use reasoning. He's just like, oh, you're a terrorist. Oh, Hamas. Oh, October 7th. Oh, no, you're stupid. Oh, he doesn't actually believe it because he's afraid. He's afraid, and he knows he's afraid. So he doesn't even bother. He doesn't even bother trying to debate right or wrong. There was one debate clip where he says there's no such thing as Palestine. Well, that's clearly untrue. That's clearly untrue. A basic third grade history lesson would teach you that Palestine has existed for over 1,000 years. Minimum 1,000 years. So yeah, this dude's either the dumbest person on earth or was the dumbest person on earth, or he just sold out and he bit off more than he could chew. Okay, during his last speech, he was like, well, actually, gang violence and blah, and then his neck got shot off. And I think we're just ignoring the elephant in the room, which Charlie Kirk spent his entire career ignoring the giant elephant in the room. It's not gang violence. It's a bunch of teenagers with broken homes that decide to kill each other. That doesn't affect you. That doesn't affect your demographic. Okay? But you know what does? Israel taking billions of your tax dollars. Yet you don't talk about that. Israel like hyperinflating this country's economy. You don't talk about that. Our image being ruined on the world stage. That affects you, me, everybody. Okay? Because it just devalues our country and it ruins our integrity. Okay? You will never be able to prove a point on this. Okay, there's just right and wrong. Okay, genocide, wrong. Stealing people's land, wrong. Okay, and just going on this cherry picking campaign where you cherry pick random black on white crimes. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a huge problem with black on white crime, white on black crime. Let's be real here. I'm not saying there's no problem. All crime is wrong. It doesn't matter the race. It doesn't matter who killed who. It doesn't matter what they say. Murder is wrong. Okay, but what Charlie Kirk has done is he tries to divide people on this subject. He says, oh, well, the killer killed because he was black. He wasn't actually, wasn't because of he was homeless and he had schizophrenia. No, it's because he's black. And when a white person just so happens to be white shoots up a school, guess what? They say, oh, it was mental health, mental illness. So don't you see the hypocrisy in that? Okay, we're using a double standard. But anyway, I'm gonna end the video. I could go on all day about this. Honestly, how I feel about him dying, I'm indifferent. I'm just sick of people just worshiping these celebrities, and then when they die, I'm supposed to feel super sorry. Meanwhile, people in your neighborhoods, people in your school die every single day, and nobody gives a damn about it. But meanwhile, the person that dies that you never even met, you're supposed to feel sorry. You're supposed to break down. You're supposed to cry. Meanwhile, your uncles, they die. You didn't even attend the funeral. Let's be real here. Maybe we should stop worshiping celebrities. Maybe we should stop worshiping establishment pundits. I mean, come on, dude. Come on. I can't think of a single thing Charlie Kirk has promoted within his entire career that I actually agree with. I can't. Besides his few times he criticized Israel, and he didn't even have the balls to criticize it all the way. He's like, oh, it might have been Israeli intelligence. It could have. And I'm like, we know it is. It's a proven fact. Okay, let's be real here. It's the most obvious fact known to man. Yet nobody with as big of a platform as Charlie Kirk is saying that. Let's be real. And and this guy just called us crazy conspiracy theorists. He treats us, he calls us liberals, he calls us leftists. And what is that? Leftists? You know what else is leftist? Voting. You know what else is leftist? Free speech. You know what else is leftist? Actual marriage. Marriage is leftist. You have to be a leftist to get married, to submit to a woman or tie yourself to a woman. That's leftist. There's a lot of things that would be considered leftist like 100 years ago. Okay, so that just makes the whole point mute. I think we should just ditch this whole left versus right thing. because it's getting us nowhere. This whole black versus white thing, it's getting us nowhere. Okay. And Charlie Kirk, what was his end goal here? He spent his entire life talking, but what was he even talking about? What was his end goal? Okay, that's the thing. His end goal. What is he trying to do? What was he trying to achieve? Okay, you're debating like 20-year-olds on college campuses. Meanwhile, you're not debating anybody who's actually intellectually on your level or competent. Okay, that's not a one up just to get a own on somebody like an 18-year-old. You're not going to be able to like get a one up from me on that. Okay, you just it's tricky because on one hand I don't support what happened to him, absolutely not, but on the other hand I'm suspicious. Who was Charlie Kirk doing business with? What motivated this shooting? What motivated this killing? Who did it? First of all, the shooter, average civilian, wouldn't be able to make that shot. In a million years. So there's something large at play, a conspiracy, if you will.